What's happening, guys? We're back with another video. Don't forget to hit that like button and even hit that bell icon. It'll notify you every time I post another video. So we're gonna go ahead and jump in and dive into this one. This one's gonna be about our chicken brooding, chicken hatching, incubating, all that fun stuff. I've experimented with some different ways, and we have officially decided what we're gonna do. What is it, you ask? Well, we're gonna just keep a broody hen around. Honestly, it's a million times easier. I did run an incubator. It was fun. I had to check on it every day. I didn't really like that. Like as you guys know, here on the homestead, time is of the essence. Time is money, um, and me and my significant other have jobs. We work full time, so the homesteading is more of like a hobby. So in terms of how much time I have, I don't really have that much time. So I have to make it to where our animals are at their happiest. Our plants are at their happiest without me having to be here all the time. And even if I was home, I wouldn't want to spend my whole day taking care of these animals. Just because there are easier and better methods, it doesn't mean I don't want to spend time with my animals. We do. Sometimes we'll just go sit with the chickens. My significant other actually picks up the chickens and holds them and talks to them and pets them, and we do spend a lot of time with our animals, but I don't want to spend all of that time cleaning up their poop and stuff. There are better ways. Um, so anywho, I when I used an incubator, the standard incubator has something to increase humidity, increase temperature, and rotate the eggs for you. I've seen designs, and I did try to do some designs like the standard box with the light, and it hatches the egg, and you have to rotate it yourself 2 to 3 times a day, and you have to mark it. That is a lot of work. I mean, 5 to 10 minutes, 2 to 3 times a day. Yeah, no, I'll pass. I'll pass. So I tried. I borrowed an incubator. That wasn't as bad. I still did have to check on it 1 to 2 times a day, but in terms of hatching, like there's this point to where like whenever they hatch, you actually have to be kind of like careful for when you move them to a brooder. Somewhere that they can just kind of hang out and stay at the proper temperature, because whenever they're first born, they can't hold temperature. Uh, on that same note, they also need access to water within like 24 hours. And if I'm wrong, guys, tell me in the comments. This is just what I've learned, over time. So, anywho, my neighbor ended up taking the incubator back for some of their own stuff, and like I said, I was cool with it. I didn't really like care for it all that much. It was a fun experience and experiment. Um, but I wanted to try, using a brooder hen or a broody hen or whatever you want to call it, a mother hen. I wanted to see what it would be like when nature took its course. Now there were upsides and there were downsides, and we'll kind of get into that. So basically, what we did was, those of you that know, I had some wild hens. Basically, there were some chickens that started breeding in a neighborhood, and someone paid us to actually go and remove them. And of course, we gave them, before we ate the eggs and everything, we gave them dewormers and all that stuff. We gave them a nice dose of little medication to make sure that they were happy and healthy. And they have been gaining so much weight, so they are happy. With their automated feeders and waterers and all the other stuff. Again, in the other videos, y'all can go check out if you're interested. Well, we had this timeout corner. So originally, I had way too many roosters. And we ended up having to cull them. I'm not happy with what we did because it was kind of a waste. I do not like waste here. We don't really waste anything. So the next time we do that, we'll process them down to where we can actually get the full benefit. So we used the timeout corner, which was an area for the roosters to keep them from beating up the hens. So once we culled them, the timeout corner was empty. We're down to 2 roosters and like 4 or 5 hens. Still too many roosters, but the roosters kind of worked it out. One's more for show. It's a game chicken, game rooster, and the other, I don't think it's a silky, but it kind of looks like a silky. It's not like its hair isn't as thin, or its fur is, or its feathers. Sorry guys, isn't as thin. It's a little bit thicker, but we just like the way he looks. Even though he has his personality disorder, he's a little bit feisty. But We had actually taken a barrel, not just a metal barrel, thrown some shavings in for the roosters. Well, I had put a hen in there, just to separate her because the hens had been like kind of arguing, a little bit peckish at each other. So just for their health, we try to monitor it best we can, and stop any issues before it becomes, a problem. Because if you let the chickens just sit there and peck on each other, eventually they'll get a taste for it. They are cannibalistic in nature. Chickens can be very nasty, just like they can be very clean. At the end of the day, they're just trying to survive, like you and myself. Um, anyways, this particular hen had already been nesting. She was wild, so traditionally she had about two or three hens. The rest were all roosters, so the roosters would just run off and do their thing. But the main rooster, the one that we still have, would actually come and fertilize the eggs. So all the hens would lay underneath her. So this broody hen, all she did was roost nonstop and sit on these eggs and incubate them. So naturally, she already just had the instinct. It just worked. Her and one of her other daughters laid up to like 9 eggs. Her daughter would actually break in to the timeout corner and then hop back out at her own discretion just to lay eggs for her mom to sit on, which we thought it was a little funny. So what we figured out is that there's basically like an ideal egg number. And so for this situation, this particular hen will only stop laying or stop convincing, stealing eggs and stuff and moving her nest and when she has 9 eggs. So what we did is we let them lay their eggs, and then we took the fresher of the eggs, the white eggs that we didn't want, and obviously we put those in cartons in the fridge, and then we took some of the other eggs that we had from other chickens that were fertilized. So our Rhode Island Red, it's our Easter eggers, our girls as we call them. There's a set of 3. It's 2 Rhode Island Reds and our Easter egger. We call them the girls. We got them as a set, and they're always together. So, anywho, we put their eggs under there, and then honestly, we forgot about it. We checked on them and stuff, but we kind of didn't really have all that many hopes. We don't invest until we have proof, which is a good motto to follow, by the way, if you're going to be homesteading. Invest after the trials. Do not invest prior. Whether that be your emotions, your wants, your desires, cash, don't invest. Just let them do their thing. See how it works out. So for us, what we did is I happened to be, kind of cleaning up her pen, and I heard chirping, which, there's a lot of bird activity lately, especially with the garden going. So that wasn't abnormal. But then I saw like this little bird, this little baby chicken, just run up to the edge of the barrel like, huh, there's a human, and then run back under its mom. And I was like, all right, it's time for you to go to the brooder. So we lifted her up, and we already had, believe it or not, 4 babies that I was completely unaware of. They're a couple days old at least. And you could just kind of tell. I'll actually go grab one just so y'all can look at it real quick. As you can see, it's a very happy little guy or girl. I'm not 100% good with sexing them correctly yet, but this is out of the original batch. I just kind of wanted to show you. We're gonna go ahead and get them back under the brooder real quick. So, anyways, as I was saying, really cute, right? We initially had 4 chickens, baby chicks hatch. We put them in a brooder I built with a heat lamp, an old molasses tub, some shavings, traditional setup in a bathroom, kind of, or storage, whatever, sort of thing. Anyways, and then the next day we went out, and she had hatched another one. So what we're gonna do is basically we have it, a 1 week setup because it did take up to a week for us to get all the eggs under her and all that. After that, we decided we're going to dispose of the leftover eggs, even if they are hatching. And the reason is just because of mites. That is a real thing. Honestly, I had never had to deal with that, so I am learning. That's why I'm sharing this information with you guys. Like mites and fleas just take over when they're nesting. I don't know why. Well, I guess I do understand why. I did some research, and the main reason is because the broody hen, the mother hen, doesn't want to leave. She wants, her mother instinct is to take care of those babies. Now, She will leave to go to the bathroom generally. Sometimes they don't actually leave to go to the bathroom. They just kind of go towards the edge. But generally they leave to go to the bathroom, kind of relieve themselves 1 to 2 times a day, get some water, grab some feed, go back and sit. That's going to cause pest issues. So what we did is we actually used dichotomous earth. We used dichotomous earth in a number of projects recently. So for us, we already had it available at our disposal. And even though we do have a dust bath for our chickens, so all of our chickens are healthy, our broody hen was not, because she they don't get up to go do that. Like I said, they pretty much just hang out and nest, do what they do best. So we are going to be doing 1 month interval breaks initially. We may kind of cut back on our breeding and stuff as time goes on, but like I said, the roosters, we have a plan for them this time. We want to produce some of our own chicken meat and other things. So far, 10 out of 10 would recommend. I mean, like I said, we literally forgot about them. And 3 weeks later, boom, we have babies. It was very productive, very easy, completely our speed. Now they're under the brooder, so I check on them twice a day, just because they're so young right now. Once they get a couple weeks old, we'll check on them once a day, give them a little setup until they're old enough to go outside. Yeah, like I said, I'm so satisfied with this. She did her job, even though we did have, like I said, that downfall with the mites and the fleas. We rubbed them down with dichotomous earth, threw some in the nest. They cut back. They didn't, eliminate them. But since it's only going to be 1 more week, it won't be too bad. We'll force her out of the timeout corner by, just moving her, again, separating the babies and just keeping that area empty per se, just because we don't want anything laying in there. So I may, remove the barrel and stuff like that, but still allow the chickens to go in there. That way the fleas and stuff can kind of disperse, and the mother hen will be able to start taking care of herself without worrying about the babies. Technically, yes, we could have left the babies with the mother, but because of the fact that there were fleas and mites, I really wanted to make sure they were at the best health. And the only way I can, guarantee that is by separating them and treating them for that. So that's pretty much it for that. Like I said, I'm very, very happy. If you have the extra hen to sit on eggs, do it. I think it costs us like $5 in feed. That is insane. It's discounts compared to what it would take to run an incubator. And like I said, the time, the mother hen takes care of it. You don't have to worry about playing God, quote unquote. Whenever you do a false system, I'm going to call them false systems. They're not false. They're not wrong. But a false system to me would be more like something that you have to supply. So indoor growing, indoor incubation, most indoor stuff, you have to play God. And what that means is that all pests, you have to have a pest deterrent and something to solve that. Mother Nature already figured it out the first time. So whenever you start doing it on your own indoor setups, places that they're really not supposed to be, you're going to have complications. Again, ups and downs, take it as it comes kind of thing. We do indoor setups. We do outdoor setups here. It just depends on what our needs are. Like generally, I only try to do indoor setups on things that we're trying to preserve. So like on corn, all of the sweet corn thing I can get for like, a big old bag for like $1 of seeds. We just throw those outside. We're not really worried about those. They're cheap. But I did get a hold of a blue hoppy corn, I think is what it's called. It's a hoppy corn, I think is the actual name, but it's like a blue corn. Well, we didn't have a whole lot of seeds between me and a couple of my growing buddies. So I think we ended up splitting about 10 to 12 seeds amongst 2 or 3 of us. So, we need to preserve those genetics. So naturally, we're going to start them indoors. We want to maximize their healthiness and then kind of isolate them from the typical garden. Yes, some of them will go out, but at least one, corn cob needs to get saved as seeds. Give us about 100 seeds. You split that between 2 or 3 people. That's 200-300 seeds. Boom, we're in business. So something like that, it's okay. We're not trying to grow our whole garden indoors. So that's pretty much it for that one. Like I said, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. I enjoy doing these videos with you guys. Be nice out there, be kind, and you have a great day.